Parking on Dana Street is nonsensical. We have 60-foot buses now that use Dana Street, and the parking is still there. That claim is ridiculous. The Transportation Commission recommended removing 70 parking spaces as one of their alternatives on Bancroft without even asking any of the merchants on Bancroft whether that's a good idea. That's a recipe for disaster there. The Transportation Commission ignored overwhelming advice from the public at its meeting. I was there, and it was overwhelming in one direction. And secondly, and lastly, I would refer to the Southside Plan. It has been twice erroneously referred to. The Southside Plan calls for considering changing Bancroft and Durant to two-ways, not converting it. That's an important distinction, and those claims that have been made by two people so far are erroneous.
Spade, followed by Joshua Abrams, followed by Russell and Duvall.
What is the city but the people? That's what the city plan liked to proclaim a few years ago. But I didn't hear anything about the people I heard about. Riders, transit people, not the people whose neighborhood is going to be turned into a corridor. With all respect to Kitty, the BRT may work in London, but they don't run it down Carnaby Street. They don't run it through the Louvre courtyard. Two-way traffic on Telegraph is suicidal, crazy, and gridlock. You don't need to theorize about it. Just go up to Russell and College and look at how it is between Russell and Chabot on that stretch there, and it will be on the Richter scale 10 times worse on Telegraph. The argument against southbound Dana in terms of having to walk an extra block is ridiculous. They want a better local service, more buses is what we want, maybe free transfers from BART to AC Transit, do some things to get people. Putting empty buses down streets and creating congestion is not going to make people leave their cars. You've got to change people's thinking about cars, and you've got to talk to the people whose neighborhoods are being destroyed by this thing.
Joshua Abrams, followed by Russell Duvall, followed by Paul Wojcicki.
Hi, I'm Josh Abrams. I'm a driver and a transit rider. I decide what mode to take based on primarily on time and reliability. And I'm pro-dedicated lanes for buses because it helps me not drive. In fact, having a dedicated right-of-way for public transit, I believe, is the best way to give people an alternative besides their cars. Part of why BART is effective. It's fast, reliable, and doesn't get caught with competing modes of traffic. But mostly, I just want to encourage you to think about the future, think about 20 and 30 years out. And we know what we're doing today isn't working. We know that our roads are automobile dominated and that it's not sustainable, that it's not acceptable for climate change or air pollution or for people that don't have the option of driving. And I encourage you to endorse a bold, visionary, different future that includes a dedicated lane for buses. Thank you.
Thank you. Russell Duvall, followed by Paul Wojcicki, followed by Esther Silverstein.
I'm Russell Duvall. I've been a street vendor for 37 years. I've been standing out there. 37 years ago, we used to have to sleep on our spaces. We had space at Christmas. My wife, my partner, lives with me on approximately Seminary and East 14th. She takes the bus every day. The biggest problem with taking the bus are the fights on the bus, and that determines what time she gets home. You can do whatever you want, but fights have to stop, and I doubt you can stop them. They're significant if you know the area. Two-way streets will end street vending. We're facing it tough enough lately. Most of us are really struggling. If you do this, we will be gone.
Absolutely. Followed by Wojcicki, followed by Esther Silverstein, followed by Shield Darn. Please.
Paul Hoyda. I just have a couple things. One is that you often mention the city standards for congestion, but you don't say what they are. It'd be nice to say what they are either now or at some future meeting, because I judging from what I see on College Avenue, I would say that should be worse than city standards for congestion already, and Telegraph will likely be worse than that. Also, the other thing I want to say is for recommending the locally preferred alternative, I don't know if you can recommend this, but if you can talk AC Transit into splitting the long line into two shorter lines, then that would improve reliability, and it would not put the city in the position of either accepting dedicated lanes or refusing them and shutting down the whole thing. Because if you have one long line and the locally preferred alternative includes dedicated lanes in Berkeley, and then the city council decides no, then what's going to happen? Sounds
Thank you.
All or nothing.
Mr. Silverstein, followed by Sheila Darn, okay, followed by Luca Malhotra.
Good evening. I live in the neighborhood. I've been in the neighborhood I've been there for about 12 years now. And I really wonder in this plan, where are the pedestrians? How wide is the pedestrian walk? Where are the vendors? Where are the vending spaces? I see on the plan all sorts of numbers, 8 feet, 12 feet, but there's no number on how wide the pedestrian walk is, and I don't see how wide the space is for the vendors. Where are the vendors? So I'm very concerned about that. It would be very nice to be clear about that. And construction, period. Because everybody is going to be affected during this time. What's going to happen during that time? To us? Can we just leave and then come back? And how is this going to work? I mean, we want to help create jobs, but we're losing small businesses here. We're really losing a lot of small businesses. We have lost a lot of small businesses. What's going to happen to us?
Thank you.
Please consider that.
Yes. Sheila Darn, followed by Maku Malhotra, followed by Frank Dar.
I've lived for 40 years at the Boston Telegraph, and I oppose the BRT. 20 years ago, the city of Berkeley decided they wanted to get more people out of their cars, and in downtown Berkeley, they stopped building parking, and they reduced what parking is there. And you can see what happened to downtown Berkeley. It's a depressed area. Nothing we can be proud of. It's a real tragedy for our people. It used to be quite good. And if we pass something that actually the people are not going to support, what people did is they got in their cars and they drove along the street, Richmond, Hayward, everywhere else. I think that the rapid bus option is much helpful to look at in terms of all the objectives that we all have. Reducing greenhouse gases, something that people can afford, something that people can do right away without huge capital investment. Thank you.
Thank you. Makul Malhotra, followed by Frank Dar, followed by Scott Limes. Frank Dar is not here? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, Frank Dar. Frank Dar is next, followed by Scott Line, followed by Henry Hilton.
One, I'd like to speak as a bicyclist, that if you're really interested in reducing greenhouse gases, you don't take polluting buses, especially AC buses. When they talk about buses sharing the lane with bikes, they're going to have to do a complete retraining of their drivers. You can't ride on Telegraph today, no matter whether there are bike lanes or not, because they will park with their buses angling out to block a whole lane of traffic, let alone block a bike lane. Sharing a 15